A new region has been made accessible in EVE Online. No, not that tutorial island. Exordium, an area of space where all new players will begin their journey starting in the Cradle of War expansion. Why is this important? Because this is the only region in all of New Eden where PvP is strictly not allowed. And I'm going to show you what you can do in this new region. EVE Online is too big to explore alone. Let's explore it together. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Lynn Rankin. I've spent a long time in New Eden, and I'm here to share with you what I've learned and continue to learn in this amazing game we call EVE. So what is Exordium? Exordium is a new region of space that you can access right now by going to Yulai and jumping to the new system of Manifest, the center of this new player region. Manifest will contain a new air trade station that many players will call their home when they first join New Eden, or even to live out their full playtime in here, and retain a two-way connection to Yulai so players can come and go as they please, and enterprising players can deliver ships and modules and start trading. Exordium is the first region to be strictly governed by Concord and is now the only area where 1.0 systems can be found. All previous 1.0 systems have been reduced to a security status of 0.9. Gankers, don't jump for joy. There is no meaningful difference between 1.0 or 0.9 systems in terms of Concord's response time, and Cheetah has always been a 0.9 system. In addition, because of this change, all 1.0 systems now its own security band above HighSec called Exordium or SafeSec strictly prohibit all forms of PvP, as long as you don't look at Z Killboard. There was a glitch that allowed faction warfare to continue to play out, but this should be resolved in a few days. This means if you are currently in faction warfare, maybe wait a few days and don't travel to Exordium in blingy ships while Concord gets the empires to play by other rules again. What else is there in Exordium? Well, speaking of faction warfare, each empire has its own constellation in Exordium called an embassy constellation, where you will be able to find combat anomalies, data and relic sites, mining belts, and empire managed mining belts, pirate hideaways, rogue drone combat sites, metaliminal metoroid encounters, emergency aid encounters, as well as when the Cradle of War expansion releases, these embassy constellations will feature a one-way, one-time use shipcaster to fling players to that empire's faction war headquarters to get started in PvP, or even just to get into New Eden within a specific empire space. In addition, there are level 1 and level 2 missions available for security and mining. These are going to be great if you are wanting to raise some basic standings with an empire who is currently hostile with you, without the need to go to their space or struggle to find an agent outside of their space in order to restore standing. All 4 empires are available, as well as Sisters of Eve. So now the question you've been waiting for me to answer. How much money can a new player make out in Exordium in absolute safety from suffering from spontaneous forced disassembly of your ship? Here's the breakdown. Mission ISK rewards, loyalty point rewards, and NPC bounties are reduced by 20% compared to what you get before in 1.0 space. In regular asteroid belts, there are Veldspar and Scordite that now have a new and exclusive to Exordium variant called Zero Grade, which has 50% reduced reprocess yield compared to base Veldspar and Scordite. There's managed belts that offer the same grade 0 Veldspar and Scordite, but only accessible by corvettes and ventures, so it's not gobbled up by mining barges. Exploration sites with loot tables containing items optimized for new players, meaning no jackpots or advanced loot. Mostly to gain the grasp for understanding exploration, not to be a huge money maker like real exploration is. Although at the time of this video, some of the scanning sites are level 5 scanning difficulty, which I'm sure is not intended since even I can't scan these down, and these will likely be corrected soon. Homefront operations have reduced difficulty and reduced reward to compensate for that. Tier 0 abyssal filaments have also been adjusted to be allowed to be used in 0.9 and 1.0 space, so you can start earning money this way, and in 1.0 space completely gank proof after you leave the abyss. As far as combat anomalies go, the NPCs you will face in the Keldari constellation is the Garistas, the Blood Raider in the Amar constellation, the Angel Cartel in the Mimitar constellation, and the Serpentis in the Galente constellation. Rogue drone combat anomalies will appear throughout Exordium. And if you are one of the fortunate members of EVE's community who own an Alliance tournament prize ship, if you can safely get it to Exordium, you can fly it without getting ganked, as long as you wait for
CCP, because we produce...
FC, to fix the faction warfare glitch in Exordium. It seems there's a generous amount of things for a new player to do, though not as effective as elsewhere in HiSec, but for getting your feet wet and understanding the mechanics of the game, I feel this is a great start for new players. So what can't you do in Exordium? What are the downsides? For one, at least currently, you're not allowed to turn on your micro warp drive around the air trade station in Manifest specifically. This is likely to prevent bump griefing. Afterburners do not have this same restriction. There is an additional 5% market fee added to non-instant orders, placing a buy order or sell order on the market, rather than purchasing what's available. Industry installation fees are increased by 5% for manufacturing, research, and invention. Wormholes do not spawn in Exordium. Not sure what tech Concord and Air had to implement in order to fix the tear to spacetime after 5 stellar incidents. I don't see this as a bad thing necessarily. No sense in having a space that you can, as a new player, accidentally take a wormhole to null, or suspects bypassing Yulai. Speaking of which, if you attempt to enter Exordium with a suspect or criminal or limited engagement timer, you won't be allowed in. Also, if you clone jump into Exordium while having such a timer, you cannot undock until the timer elapses. Dueling is not allowed. Kill rights cannot be activated. Structures cannot be deployed, though that apparently didn't include customs offices since someone installed one on nearly every planet. Not a lot of good that will do them because presently all planets have 0 resources on them, so planetary industry also isn't possible in Exordium presently. Whether they will have any in the future remains to be seen. It's likely these customs offices will be removed and resources refunded, at least partially, to the group that installed them. But that's up to CCP,
CCP, so the
FC, on how to handle that loophole. Mobile structures like mobile depots and tractor beams, as well as anchored containers, cannot be placed, meaning no more annoying mobile depot corp ad spam. War Declaration and Faction Warfare Combat is disabled, though Faction Warfare Combat slipped through, which should hopefully be resolved within a few days of this video being posted. Lastly, remain vigilant. Just because someone can't blow you up unsolicited while in Exordium does not mean that someone can't attempt to take advantage of you. Exordium currently is not listed as part of the rookie griefing help article yet. It probably will at Cradle of War's release, which means until Exordium is added to that, scams where you send ISK items can still occur. I've included a link to the rookie griefing help article below so you can keep up to date on when Exordium is added. And always be vigilant of exploitative market orders. That's one PvP that still exists in Exordium, market PvP. It's important to know that Exordium is still a work in progress, and new players who join EVE will not start spawning in Exordium until June 9th, when the Cradle of War expansion releases. Things very much will change throughout the year and beyond with Exordium. I believe that at its base implementation, this is a step in the right direction for allowing players to give EVE a shot and get a grasp at the mechanics before venturing out into the rest of New Eden. On a personal note, my wife wants to try EVE now that she knows she will have a space to experience and learn before experiencing the PvP and loss that comes from it. Subscribe if you want to see her play EVE Online. You can go visit Exordium right now. The gates are open. Let me know what you think of this new region, what you hope comes out of it, and where you think CCP
remember the other really good takeaway from it.
Fenris Creations needs to take this further. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you'd enjoy this one on screen as well. Why not give it a watch and see if it was right? Consider liking, subscribing, and using my creator codes to show your support. Thank you to my amazing YouTube and Patreon members, and welcome to our newest members. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.
CCP, fuck!